Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to This is a Takeover. My name is David Hensley. I'm the owner and creative director of Long Walk Productions, and I am here to introduce your hosts, Shelby Ray.
Thank you, David. Thank you so much. And welcome to Charlotte's only female-led NXT-focused wrestling podcast. This is a Takeover. And who is with me right now? My tag team partner, Gina Belmont.
Hey, y'all, hey.
And we are so happy.
So happy.
Because we are actually looking at David in the flesh right now.
No screen.
Not through a screen and not through any sort of delay.
Nope.
Or anything. And this is awesome. How are you, David?
I am well, thank you.
Yeah, it's great to see your face.
You too. It's very nice, especially since... over the last 2 months, there's been a very limited social circle of who I'm seeing in person. And two, once we started doing these podcasts in person, again, here in the studio, I've only seen Stan and Chris and dogs.
God bless
you.
So
it's nice to have some new faces back in the studio.
Nice to have two people who can keep us on track. Right? Is that what we're saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see about that.
Oh, yeah, we'll see.
I won't make any promises.
Yeah. Well, as we were talking about earlier before we went or turned the mics on and everything, we were saying the last time that we were in here, we were like, oh, it'll be 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be fine. And now we're in month 3 of all of this.
Oops.
And it's just been crazy.
Yeah.
So quarantine been treating you okay?
Ish.
As it can be.
I was furloughed for 2 weeks and then I went back to work. So I've been working since early April.
Well, that's good at least.
Yeah.
I've been out and among the public and
safely?
Yeah.
just making sure.
No, just walking around.
I mean, hey, look.
It's crazy having watched this town go from like lockdown, there's no one on the streets, and the ones who are wearing masks over just 1 month, seeing more people out and about, and then fewer and fewer masks. Mm-hmm. And now you can look around this town and it's like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just so weird to see
is.
the progression. Because you're right on Main Street here, right?
Yeah. So for the first couple of weeks that I was coming into the studio, it was a ghost town.
I mean, even when we came, there was like
that's
two
true.
people that
we were
were walking
standing
out.
out there, and it was just like two people like in a tumbleweed, just kind of
exactly.
Well, we're very happy to be back.
Yes.
And it's funny because we were listening to one of the older episodes before we came in.
Yes.
And it's so funny to hear what we were predicting, what was going to happen whenever we would be back in here. We didn't think we were going to be back in here till August.
Yeah.
And then WWE decided to make up for the lack of TakeOver going on WrestleMania weekend and presented Takeover in your house.
Yay.
So I'm very excited to talk about this one.
Yes.
Gina and I actually got to physically be in the same room together and watch this one, which was fun.
It was so nice.
Because we've been doing Zoom, or I guess really FaceTime.
It was FaceTime. Yeah, every Wednesday.
Yep, every Wednesday we would FaceTime watching NXT together.
Girls' date.
Yes. I would be sitting on my floor in my living room, set my camera up, so that way she could see me drinking my wine.
Yes.
And it was fun.
I had my tripod.
But after about the 5th time that we had to do that, it got to the point where I'm like, I love you dearly, but I can't do this anymore.
I hit a point where I couldn't do the screens anymore.
Yeah.
I would rather it just be me and Katie and not see other people than have that barrier between it. Like that's why when we would do all the Zoom calls on Saturday nights, I eventually just tapped out.
No, and that's totally understandable. Like I totally get that because I feel the same way. I feel like me and you, David, like we're very similar with our interactions with people, and I would just get so drained, and it wouldn't even be the company or what we were talking about. It would just be like, I just don't want to look at my phone anymore.
Yeah, I had to actually buy blue light glasses because
did.
For my work, I was uploading on top of that. And then the only interaction with people was through FaceTime and things like that. And I would go to bed with these migraines that were just unreal. Mm-hmm. And if anyone is interested, they do work. I love them. And I look like an 80-year-old grandma, and I adore it. And it's great because they're big lenses.
I mean, that's like, in style now.
Yeah, I look like Ed Asner from Up. It's great.
There you go.
Yeah, I also had to buy a pair of those a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Just because everywhere I go, whether I'm at my day job or whether I'm here where I've got two screens and my phone. And yeah.
It's just a lot. And everyone will be like, oh, this is the future. We're always going to be on screens. I hope not.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly feel like after all of this, like, people actually do appreciate in-person interaction a lot more. Or I'm hoping that's the case because I can't deal with 100% screen time all the time.
And it's funny because we were talking about this a while ago because I am the kind of person who will automatically just FaceTime someone. Even before quarantine, I did. I would FaceTime somebody just to be like, hey, what's up? I want to see your face. Now I don't want to freaking have anything to do with FaceTime. And I just want to hear your voice, cool, you're live, and then be done with it. Like, that's it.
Exactly. Well, I think we wanted to start a segment, which I don't know if it's going to take off or not, but just to see what we're drinking. The last time we did this, we were both in our homes. We weren't sure if we were allowed to bring alcohol into this establishment.
Oh, I don't care.
Oh, okay. Well, next time
absolutely.
We'll know. And to do a segment of what are we drinking?
Yes.
Gina, what are you drinking?
That was actually really cool, and I didn't think that would work. I'm so sorry for our listeners at home. Shelby hates ASMR, and I was planning to do this because I thought it would sound cool, which it did, but she's over here like having a little mini anxiety attack.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
And so today what I'm going to
be
be drinking is a Coke Zero Sugar Cherry Vanilla. I almost did it like one of my YouTubers, but I'm not going to steal his content. And
we don't need that heat.
And I'm not going to do that. So, but I love the Coke Zero Cherry Vanilla with a lovely taste.
There you go. And your lovely Panera koozie that I gave you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And Shelby Ray, what are you drinking today?
Just a regular Diet Coke.
Hey, with a very, very fancy koozie.
Yes, that my friend Gina Belmont gave me. It has my name on it, which is fun, which obviously you can't see this because it's an audio medium, but it is glittery all over, Sparkles. Like a Diet Coke can because I drink them all the time, and it has my name on it because I can never find one with my name on it. Yep. So, but yeah.
And now that we have our drinks,
let's dive on in.
Let's go.
Well, one side note before we get there, actually, the next time we do this, directly across the street from me.
Oh, that's right. I know where this is going.
Is Main Street Bottle Shop.
That's not where I thought this was going.
We're not sponsored by them, but we should be.
We should totally get something from them.
Yeah, Katie and I have been over there, and I've been there with Chris Neville a few times. They've got really good beers on tap, and they also sell.
There we go.
You can make your own 6-pack or just buy the bottle. So
I would love to do that.
Absolutely.
Let's definitely do that next time.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So what's it called again?
Main Street Bottle Shop.
Main Street Bottle Shop. We're gonna hit you up.
And if anyone's listening, there's a great opportunity to be a sponsor here right now. So there you go.
I am constantly looking for sponsors, and if you listen to our crossover episodes,
oh my god,
so many unpaid shout outs with so many missed opportunities.
HelloFresh, Blue Apron, Gain Detergent.
Look.
Like, come on now. That episode got derailed so many times, but it was so much fun. So much fun. Well, let's dive on in.
Yes.
So
excited.
This takeover is a play on the original pay-per-view In Your House.
Yes.
So I was curious.
And that was 25 years ago?
Yes, 25 years ago, which is why they're doing it. But I think it's also kind of a play off of like, oh, we're in quarantine, so everyone's in their house anyway. Which, I mean, I think is pretty smart. But I went back and watched it, and I lasted about 5 minutes into the
the original one.
Yes, the original one. And, well, it's just, it was 95, I think, when the first one came out, and they did another one in like 97 or something like that. And I wasn't watching it then. I was 3.
I was going to say, I was at 95, I was 2.
Right. So
There's the face. There's the David face. Ha ha ha. There's the David face. Yay. We're young and
he got
old.
so mad at us the last episode for calling him out on that via satellite, he just gave us the face.
Yep, so there we go.
So we are justified.
Boom.
No comments.
He says boldly into the mic.
Yes.
But yeah, so I watched a little bit of it, and the first match I think was Bret the Hitman Hart versus some dude I don't remember who it is, but
so obviously it was a
well, I only watched the first 5 minutes of it.
No, but I mean it was obviously a smash then if it was.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But so they did this whole thing in the beginning where they were like, so at the end of this pay-per-view, we're going to give away a free house in Orlando.
That's why you were
yes.
Oh, I get it now.
So at the beginning of TakeOver in Your House 2020 edition, they had it where it was such a 90s filter.
Oh, it was great.
Throughout the entire opening. And then the old host.
Yeah, the announcer.
I did not write his name down. I cannot remember. Dogs will probably know who it is.
Oh, I see his beautiful face and his beautiful oversized jacket that he wore.
And his awesome radio voice.
Yes.
Oh, he was great. So they had him, who was the original host.
Yes.
And he was talking about basically just going through all of the matches and setting it up. And each time it had a filter of like the Saved by the Bell, type filter to it that was uber 90s. Like, it was so fun. And then at the end of his whole intro, he was like, and at the end of this pay-per-view, we're gonna not give a house to anybody.
And Shelby just out loud went, damn it!
Oh, and Gina's looking at me like,
what?
Like, it was
super confused.
Such an obscure thing, which, again, only watched the first 5 minutes of it. So anything else that was a reference to the old pay-per-view, I wouldn't have got.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they had that at the beginning, and then we moved into the opening of the whole show.
Yes.
And NXT, I feel like has kind of had a reputation of being kind of the edgy sibling.
Yes.
I call them. Like,
I can see that.
The one who's like, yeah, I liked this band before you knew about them, and I thought they were way cool
Panic
before you
was
did.
Like so real. Like, you guys just don't understand.
Like, old school Panic is like the best Panic. Like that type of kid.
And we can say that because we're big Panic fans.
Well, we are, but we were never that type of Panic fan.
No, not those fans.
So I always kind of felt NXT has that kind of vibe to it.
Yes.
And so they usually have whoever is the main or the artist of the main theme of the pay-per-view, is how they have a song.
Yes.
Is always the performer.
Yeah.
And so they've done it where it was, I think her name was Poppy, and she did a couple of songs for some of their pay-per-views, and I mean, she came out looking like Rita from Power Rangers one time.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was for War Games or
I think that's what it
Portland
was.
or something. Anyway, one of the more recent ones.
Yes.
And so usually I look forward to those. This time,
yeah,
I can't remember the name. It was like Code Orange, I think was the name of the band. So they came out, and first off, they had a female lead guitarist, which badass.
She was rocking, and she had that 90s sound where it was like kind of coming out of your nose, and it was like, but the right amount of grunge, and then I got scared.
Gina got scared.
I did
because
I got scared.
It went to screamo real fast,
and it's fine if you enjoy screamo. I just I have been trained kind of in a more traditional style to sing, and so my immediate fear is, oh dear God, your vocal cords. Like,
well, yeah,
but they're trained to do it the right way. So
yes, but then you had the bassist.
Oh yeah.
Who, I don't know if this was a choice that he was making or if he was actually possessed by a demon.
It could have been either way.
He had his tongue out the entire time, and if you
it looked like he taped his eyeballs open.
Yes, it looked like he had his eyes rolled back into his head, and his tongue was sticking out the entire time. And I heed you, if you have not seen this pay-per-view,
to do it.
Please go watch at least the beginning
for
this bassist, because because he's right behind
Yeah.
the lead singer, and she's killing it, and she's doing a really good job, and then you have him over her shoulder.
Yeah, because it's not like it was like he like in the like background, like him just being like close to the scenery, like close to the
No, he was right there.
No, it was a choice. It was like a total like I'm an 8-year-old about to photobomb my best friend in this photo. Like that's what it felt like.
It was really intense, and I mean, I liked it when she was singing by herself.
And she started head
she
banging.
was getting into it, and it was great. And then they added the screamo guy and the bassist, and you just lost me.
Yeah.
But again, there's a huge fan base for that. We were just not in that fan base.
I loved her voice. She was fabulous. But yeah.
But the set in general was so nostalgic. It was the
really
exact
cool.
set.
The exact set.
Yeah.
Where have they been storing that for 25 years?
I doubt it's the exact set, but it is like a replica at least of the exact set, because it had the same type of house. Like they entered through the garage the last time.
And that's true because they did add some things, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, and so the set was cool, and they entered through the garage. At some points, I wish they would have come through the door because it made more sense, but most of them came through the garage, but it kind of set up everything.
It did work well for
Gargano.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you knew exactly what I was going to.
I did.
Thank
you had that fear. In your eyes.
My eyes went like, no, the word's gone, because I wanted to say Adam Cole, and I was like, that's not who I'm thinking of.
No, that's a different match.
But yeah, we'll talk about that later.
But so the first match, we'll just dive right into it.
So good.
I mean, so we have this 6-woman tag match, and so you have Shotzi Blackheart, Tegan Knox, and Mia Yim on a team. So I guess they're the face team.
Yes.
And then versus Raquel Gonzalez, Dakota Kai, and Candice LeRae.
Yes.
And as the heel team. And so they have been playing this up on NXT TV for a bit.
Yes.
With Shotzi and Dakota having kind of a thing, and then Tegan and Raquel having a thing, and then Mia and Candice having a thing.
Yes.
But I love Candice LeRae.
You do.
I have loved her in all of her stages.
Yes,
and
you have.
This heel Candice, I'm living for it.
That costume when she walked out.
She came out in freaking pixie wings.
Like, but not like, not Tinkerbell.
Not like Alexa Bliss, like I'm adorable, I'm a fairy type thing.
No.
But like, she's like, she calls herself the poison pixie.
Yeah, it looked like poison was literally leaking out of those wings. It was so cool.
And in my opinion, which, I mean, this is such a very broad statement, I feel like, but like all of these women are the women's division. And it's hard to even say that because, in my opinion, the women's division of NXT are the best in the entire company.
Yeah, they're pretty phenomenal.
So to have a 6-woman tag match be your opener, and it be a huge barn burner from the beginning.
Yeah, it was.
I feel like that's saying a lot for their women's division.
Yeah,
that
they knew it too.
They did, and with this match, it just was super fast paced from the very beginning. Really quick transitions. And it continued the story, and it told all 3 of their stories, like, in the match, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, really great combining of storytelling and, like, finding little moments for all of them.
Yeah.
And to further the plot of those stories with even the way that they hit each other. Like, it really did flow really nicely.
Yeah, and I feel like all of them were able to have their own spots. And, like...
There was one spot.
Which one?
The one weird one that we were... Do you want to talk more about that?
You can talk about it. Go ahead.
Okay, so there was just one moment where I was watching it, and we both looked up, and there was a part... I can't remember who started the flip. The first... It was
Chauncey.
It was Chauncey. Chauncey, so Chauncey with her beautiful lime green hair.
And she comes out in a tank.
Beautiful tank. Mini tank, not big tank, mini tank,
baby tank, like her legs are
like the one you get at Toys R Us, like for the Barbie car, that size. That's what happens, and it's just a tank.
Which where was that when I was a kid?
Yeah,
I would have totally wanted that more than the Barbie convertible for sure.
Yeah, or the Tesla now. But anywho,
oh god.
But she did this flip spot. And it was great. It was beautiful, really beautiful backflip right into the arms of her wrestling buddies.
It was Raquel.
Raquel, yeah.
Well, because Raquel caught her.
And she actually did that. So, but
Yeah,
I didn't write any bad notes about that.
Okay.
Was there one that I missed?
No, I'm not a fan of Raquel, just because in wrestling, first impressions are such a big thing. And she debuted in Portland.
She had one job.
I said this already, but
so
she
many
had
times.
one job to put Tegan through a table, and she couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm just like, you literally, and again, I'm not a wrestler, so I'm not going to say that I can put anybody through a table whatsoever, but I feel like it's pretty simple. You're on the top rope, and you just throw them, and they go through the table.
Yeah.
But, so ever since then, I've kind of not been a huge fan, because that was a hard bump for her. Yeah, she landed on the back of her head, and it just... It
was a gross thud.
You could tell it wasn't supposed to happen.
No.
And didn't you say it was on Botchamania for like 3 weeks?
It was. She had that, like, it was from, like, there were camera angles from the audience. There were the normal camera angle from NXT. Like, I mean, people, and the one that was really great was that this one guy who was recording it, you know, she tries and, you know, she throws her down on the table and it just does not go. And you just hear the guy go, woof. Like, just like a whisper. Like, woof.
Well, yeah, because it was rough. It was so rough. So ever since then, I've kind of been very critical of the things that she's been doing. And they compared her to China.
Dude, that's right. They said the 9th wonder of the world.
And
we went, what?
We both heard it at the same time, and we're just like, no.
Because I was sitting there going, wait, hang on. Let me go backtrack here. Because I'm still new, and I was like, wait, the 8th wonder of the world is Andre the Giant. I know this. So I'm assuming,
your dude,
Andre is my man. So I was like, okay, so I'm assuming they're talking about China because I'm pretty sure that was her thing. And then I'm looking at Shelby, she's like, no. No.
Not even close. The only reason I think why they said that was because she was dressed very much like China.
She had the leather pants and she had like a kind of crop top thing that like was more, like looked like a sports bra kind of style.
Like her hair like on top of her head.
But the first flip that Chauncey did was, you know, Raquel caught her in that. And then it suddenly was like, you know, like Uno, when like someone just starts jumping in. Mm-hmm. It was like that. It was like that. And for some reason, after Chauncey started, and then it was, because they just went back and forth, because then it was Tegan then, and then she did another flip spot, and it was back to back to back 3 separate times, but it was the same move. It's not like it was anything different. It was just backflip.
Oh, that's what it was. So it was backflip. Chauncey first.
Yes.
Then Mia, then Candace, then Tegan.
Oh, it was 4.
Yeah, it was 4.
Yeah, so, like, okay, because, I mean, the magic number 3, like, 3 is, you know, if you get to 3, cool, yep, you got it. If you go to 4, it's like, okay, now this is weird.
Now it's repetitive.
And so I was sitting there, like, that was the only time where I was just like, what is this? Like, that's so weird.
Yeah,
like, and the people at the bottom who were catching each other, like, it started growing and growing. And then it was almost like slapstick, because they would fall and they'd get right back up and, oh man, and then they fall again. And then they get back, oh man, and they would fall right back. It was a weird spot, and that I kind of wrote it and I was like, I literally wrote minus weird flip spots.
Yeah, it felt like it was, we're going to put this in here so we can showcase people.
Yeah, and that's fine, great.
But
you could have done that like
it
spread
wasn't very
out.
Organic.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, we're just going to cluster them all into one section and then just, you know, then move on. Like nothing happened. And because then it leads to, because I mean, everything in the match seemed to flow pretty well except for that section. And then Mia and Candace just jump off
Deuces.
And start fighting each other outside the ring, and then literally fight into the garage,
they just
backstage, and then they're just gone.
Bye
for the rest of the time.
Yep.
And then
it becomes the four-way match.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then it ends up that Tegan and Chauncey and the now missing Mia go over.
Woohoo!
Which that end sequence is actually really, really good.
Yes. And we did mention as we were watching it early on, because we had a debate about the Regals that we will get to, but
we debated a lot.
We did, which is great though, because I actually like the fact that, because sometimes I was worried, I was like, I'm just saying it the same thing that you say, but
you're like, I'm going to give all of them 5.
I was like, this was great, but no, this one I actually like. We got to talk and figure things out, and with this one, the start did go and seem a little slow at first, but that's also because, you know, they don't want to just go out the gate because it's the first match.
Yeah, but I think overall it was a good start, like a solid start.
Yes.
Which I think is why we ended up giving it 4 Regals, because it was a solid start, but it had some wonky pacing, I think.
Yes.
I mean, when I went back and watched it again, and I didn't really see any blatant misses or anything, because we've gotten to the point now where like we can pick stuff out.
It's very, very obvious.
Yeah, but yeah, so I gave 4 for that one, and we came to an agreement.
We did we did indeed come to an agreement of 4 Regals
because we want to be in agreement.
Yes,
on them. This is a dual hosting podcast gig.
Yes,
so.
Absolutely. And it's okay to disagree, but to come to a conclusion at the end.
But so then we moved, which is so funny. I didn't think that this match was going to come until later.
No,
and I started freaking out because I had not even poured any wine.
We both went, oh, no! Like we heard the music and we were like, get the wine, get the wine, get the wine.
So we had wine and pizza, and like poor Ted, he was just like,
whoa.
Okay, fine, get whatever.
Like he's just sitting in his chair, like, oh, okay.
Because so it was Finn Balor and versus Damian Priest, and at first I was like, not that I was wary, because obviously it's Finn and I'm gonna like it, but it just felt weird to put them together.
Yeah, it's not like the obvious match,
right? Like all the ones that he's had since he's returned to NXT, I felt have been kind of obvious, but maybe that's why they put him with Priest.
I did like the random, but that's also because I didn't know him. But Cameron Grimes, that one was
Burlington Boy.
That was fun. That one I was like, oh. Oh, okay.
Well, he's still talking about him, so
he should, and I hope to see more of him because I enjoyed him.
Grimes is still talking about Finn.
Oh, okay, there we go.
So, well, his character's pretty obnoxious, so
it's pretty funny. I like it.
It makes sense, but dude, I'm burping so much.
We just started sipping, and now, like, I literally looked. I leaned back and went.
I know.
How's that for some ASMR for you?
I hate it. I hear my own voice doing it, and it doesn't sound great.
Can I do the quote?
Go for it.
Or do you want to do it?
No, go for it.
Okay. So they come out, and of course we were ecstatic because out comes Finn, and we're going to take a moment because normally Chris would be making these kind of comments about the clothing, but we are big fans of Finn Balor, if you have not noticed that already. But he comes out in his blue, which he hasn't worn in a while.
So when he was on Raw and SmackDown, he basically his trunks and his gear matched whatever brand he was on. Yeah. So when he was on Raw, he was Red Finn.
Yes.
When he was on SmackDown, he was Blue Finn.
And then there was
we both preferred Blue Finn. I think a lot better.
The best still though was the white Finn.
I didn't like the white.
You
Finn.
didn't?
No, I don't like white anything clothing wise. Like I just think that it's a bad choice because
I guess my phrasing also was a little bad there because he is very obviously a white male.
He is a white Irishman, so yes, he is white Finn. But
are we already there?
He's also not a piece of tuna. I feel it's worth pointing out.
Red Finn, Blue Finn, White Finn, Green Finn. Yeah. Or anyway. Yeah. So we had Blue Finn.
We did. And then Damian Priest came out. Now Damian Priest is normally, not full, cargo pants or anything like that. But he's more.
His aesthetic is very biker.
Yeah.
Like it has like the baggy cargo pants and the leather vest.
Yeah, and even with the cargo pants, you can still make it 90s, but this one was quite interesting.
You could see through it. There were parts of it. Okay, when I say see through, I mean like how you have like those jeans that come like ripped, but then sometimes they have the mesh underneath it.
Yeah, or even the leggings nowadays, like the ladies like Fabletics or whatever leggings that have the mesh run up the side, even like to show that you're not wearing underwear underneath it.
That was his pants.
So it literally had the cutout of a loincloth, and then the whole left and right of his thighs were just mesh.
It looked like a women's wrestler attire.
I mean, hey, good for you if that's your choice. Cool.
I mean, cool, but it was a lot more thigh action than I thought I would see on a man that wasn't wearing regular wrestling trunks.
Because it for real did go up to his hip. Like, the mesh went from his, like, above his knee all the way up to, like, you know, where the line meets, like, the top of your belly button. I mean, I was like, all right, whoa.
I'll give it to him. It was very 90s. It was giving me a lot of Hardy Boys vibes.
Yes.
You know?
And it totally did fit the aesthetic, but it was just very much like we had not seen him wear anything like that. And so I felt bad because I'm just randomly quoting or just saying things all the time. And I was like, whoa, honey, this ain't Just Fab. And like, I mean, it was, for some of you who have not shopped Just Fab, it is a lot of mesh and a lot of see-through elements on their clothing. So it very much fit that aesthetic. But I mean, overall though, I was really excited about this match.
I was too. I was glad that Priest was actually getting a push.
Yes.
Because I felt like he had been thrown in with Keith Lee and Dijakovic.
Yeah, he was.
He
didn't get to shine as much as the other two did in that match.
No, because when they did we're just going to put the TakeOver matches on NXT TV, their match got put on there.
It did.
And it was basically like Portland 2.0 with Priest thrown in there.
Yeah.
Which, if you haven't seen Portland, their Dijakovic and Keith Lee had a awesome match for TakeOver Portland.
Yes.
That was amazing. So it was basically like that again, and then Damian Priest got a few spots in.
Yeah.
You know, and so I felt like he didn't really need to be in there. So I'm glad that he is at least getting some sort of a push on some sort of takeover.
Yes.
Because basically the lead up for this was he attacked Finn with his nightstick.
Yes.
And legit to the knee,
he decked him.
Sweep that leg type action. And it was really brutal because I mean, it's a legit nightstick.
Yeah, there's no faking that one. There's no.
So that's how this match kind of came to pass. But like, I feel like anyone that you put with Finn, like, he's going to put them over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he took a beating in this match. Like, there were moments where I was like, is he really going to lose this?
Yeah, because, I mean, he had no offense for, like, at least almost...
like, 3/4 of the match.
I was going to say, 3/4.
Yeah. And, I mean, he had, like, he Priest threw him into the steel stairs.
Yeah.
And this shows you, like, how much knowledge, and this is I'm really embarrassed to even say this, but I'm just gonna say it. How much knowledge I have about this man. They threw him into the steel stairs, and I was like, oh my God, not that shoulder.
And 2 seconds after she says this, the announcer goes, oh, and on the shoulder that Finn Balor just recently had surgery. And I was like, you could write this. You could literally write this shit.
I felt it was such an instinctual thing. I'm like, oh my God, not that shoulder. Like, I know the guy. Like I know him personally.
Like we're friends. Like, we can call him Finn on a personal.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was just, oh my God. So anyway, my point in saying that is he took a major beating and came away with like a lot of bruising.
Yes.
And it just, I feel like he is willing to do that when some guys who are wrestling, not that Priest is like B team or whatever, but guys that aren't quote unquote main card, and he has been main card before.
Yes.
I don't know if some wrestlers would really be willing to take as much of a beating from someone as he does.
I mean, he reminds me a lot of Rey Mysterio. Like, in the essence of, like, you know, Ray would just get in the ring with anybody and could put not anyone over, but, like, you know, would have these incredible matches with people, so.
Yeah, and he, I mean, right from the start is, you know, before the bell even rings, is going at him.
Yep.
And it's a hell of a match.
Yes.
And there was one moment, there were a bunch of moments in this match, but, like, Priest has this, move called a flatliner.
Yeah, that's right.
And he literally, and Priest has a pretty big height advantage.
He does.
On him.
At least a good solid foot.
Finn is like 5'10", 5 something like that. And
man, I'm short.
I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, we're not wrestlers.
We're not supposed to be 5'10". It's okay.
Oh.
So, and Priest is like 6'4",
Yeah.
maybe, and
Ooh.
so the height difference is so big. So he literally lifts him up and just slams him.
Oh, that
face
slam was
first, like
nasty.
down on the mat, and it's just there were a few moments like that, like the one that Priest actually took.
Oh,
So he sets up the steel stairs.
Yep. Oh, yep. And you even said it. You even said it.
I give this all this credit to David Two Dogs Hayes. I am now that person that when I see someone setting up a spot, I automatically say, setting up your own spot.
Like setting up your own death. There we
And
go.
He did. He set up the stairs, and then he eventually went through them, but he didn't actually go through them. He bounced on it.
And I even wrote his tailbone dead.
It was dead. Like it was.
And it was like you heard the thud of the metal, and then you heard the you could feel that that bump. It was gross.
It was bad. There were a few spots like that, but this
Yeah.
one in particular, like he had set Finn up for the Razor's Edge, which
Yeah.
is like where he has him behind him and then he just throws him in front of him.
Yeah.
So they're like back to back, and then he just has him by the under the arms, and
Yep.
he just throws him
And
over
then
his head, and Finn reverses it and then just decks him in the face, and he just falls lower back first onto the bottom of the steel stairs and just bounces.
Yeah, and it was really close to the edge too. Like he had gotten just far enough, but it still was pretty
And
close.
of course,
Oh.
WWE being the gluttons for punishment that they are, they love to replay that shit
Over
and
and
they
over.
were just like, let's just look at it one more time.
we're like,
and we're like, I know. I'm gonna hear that sound in my sleep now.
Yeah.
Like it's fine.
I actually turned to Ted. If anyone knows this, I'm sure you guys know that the Les Mis movie that came out a couple years back. I had turned to Ted. I said, Ted, it sounds like when Javert jumped off the. And it, you hear that crack. That's what it sounded like. It was nasty.
Yeah, it was gross.
Ugh.
And it was so funny to hear the commentary team with this because they were so divided on who they were going against. And Gina, you had a moment with the commentators during this match. Would you like to discuss it? Because I can see it on your face that you really do.
Yes. Okay. I don't speak French. This is my disclaimer. I don't speak French. However, I think that's my pet peeve because it's not just with this roster. It's WWE sometimes. Even AEW will do this. They can't pronounce things, and it drives me batty. And for some flippin' reason, they cannot say Finn Balor's move coup de grace. I understand when you look at the word in French, when it is written, there is an S. However, in the French language, you do not say the S. It is a coup de grace. And these ignorant sluts kept saying coup de grace. I swear one time he said coup de grace, but it was more so coup de grace.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my
Every single one of them
it.
said coup de grace at least, and I think Mara was the one that said coup de grace.
Oh,
that was when it put you over the edge.
I literally was just like, no.
Okay, but it could have been worse. They could have said coup de grace, which I have heard before.
You
right. I mean,
that's the southern way to pronounce it. Coup de grace.
I get it. Words are hard. Words are difficult, but also it's not like he hasn't been here. And NXT, WWE, or any, he's been in the company for so long, you should know how to say his finisher.
This has been his finisher since he started wrestling.
Yes! If you can't say, if not only that, ask the guy. If you don't know how to say it, he could be, come on, coup de grace. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I had a big BS
she
about
actually did call them ignorant sluts
out loud
while we were watching it,
out loud.
And I lost my shit.
Yep.
And it was great.
I literally said, I said, it's coup de grace, you ignorant sluts.
And so David, if we ever get merch, I want that on a t-shirt.
Absolutely. I'll add it to the running list of quotes.
That can be
or bumper sticker.
Well, that can be the official this is a takeover shirt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because once she said it, I immediately said I want that on a t-shirt.
Yeah. Sewn on a pillow.
Oh, cross stitch.
So many different stuff. I want it on everything that I own.
Yes.
I mean, basically, this match was nuts.
It was nice.
Cuckoo.
Good pacing. Good.
Honestly, I don't really see a lot of things wrong with it. I even went back and watched it again, and I'm just like, this was just fun.
Yeah, it was a
fun,
good, solid match.
And I felt like, they each got to do all the things they wanted to, and it was clear that they really had fun with this match.
Yes.
So, I mean, this was a unanimous one because Finn goes over.
Yay!
Which I wasn't sure.
No, we were sitting there like looking at each other like, for real?
Is he going to actually lose?
Like for real? Like,
yeah.
Is what I think?
We both got concerned. But it's fine because he didn't. And we're all good. And he's undefeated still. And it's great.
Yes.
So we both gave this 4.5.
Yes, we did.
So I have noticed by going back and listening to This Is a Work, we rank so much higher than they do.
Yes.
And I feel like it's because we're not in the business.
I hated this match. I'm going to give it a 3.
Or like, I loved everything about this. This was wonderful. I enjoyed this so much. I'm going to give it a 3.5. And I'm like, what was wrong with it? So I noticed that, like, as we were going, I was looking through the scores again, and I was just like, I don't think it's because we're too lenient.
No.
I think if anything, like, we're seeing it from a fan perspective, so we're even more critical. But it's just, it's funny. I can't justify going below a 4 when it was super good.
Yeah. And we did have a discussion about how many like point number scores you were going to give.
Well, yeah, because Gina, you wanted to go into the tenths of points, and I'm like, we're not doing that. She's like, I want to give this match a 3.8. I'm like, no, we're not doing that.
I just want to give the best score possible.
So you, instead of a 3.5, you want to give a 3.8, and that's different than a 4.
Okay, logic is on your side. Okay,
thank you.
So Dongs will occasionally give out like half meltzers, like 3.5. And for those of you who don't listen to This Is a Work, instead of stars or what do you? Regals. He gives meltzers based on
Dave Meltzer.
Yeah, Dave Meltzer. I didn't really know much about the man until I saw his scores for the last AEW pay-per-view, where he was like 4.25, 3.5, 2.75, and I was like, thank Christ Dogs doesn't grade them like that.
Okay,
and that's what you wanted.
You know what?
Do.
But hey, I didn't know he did that, and now I don't want to do that.
Yeah, and we wanted to stay very clear from Meltzer. So.
Yeah, you right. And see, now that that's in my knowledge, I won't be like that anymore. There we go.
Perfect.
Thanks, David.
So yeah, 4.5 for Finn and Priest.
Fabulous.
Good job for both of them.
Yes.
The next one we were very divisive about.
We were.
So it was Johnny Gargano versus Keith Lee for the North American title. I know you're going to do that every time, I still am not prepared.
Every time.
So I love both of these guys.
You do.
I love anything to do with Johnny Gargano. Like,
yeah. And I think that goes with, Candace.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're kind of a package deal, but they're both heels now, which he is having so much fun being a heel, and it's so great.
Yes.
When you see someone who is just really like
living it.
Oh man, just eats and breathes it and is just so happy that he's doing something other than
what he was doing before.
I'm the rebel heart of NXT and I beat for it and all that shit. That was a good one.
I hope I was at least 3 feet. If you heard that, I'm so sorry.
Oh, we heard it, dear. I heard it in the headphones, so everybody heard it.
Well, you know what?
We're ladies. It's fine.
Yeah, if you want,
we can burp.
You can rate it. If you want to rate it, you guys just go ahead. Email David Hensley.
Email David Hensley your rating on Gina's burp.
Yes. Next time I will make sure it's in the mic.
Yeah, please. So basically the lead up to this match was Johnny and Candace are basically in a feud with Keith Lee and Mia Yim because Keith Lee and Mia Yim are together.
Yes.
And they were taking jabs. I know.
Aww.
Right? Like it's
adorable.
When I found that out, I was like, oh, like I don't know why that touched my heart so much.
Great.
I'm usually not the sap. You're usually the sap. Gets,
well, it's probably because it's Mia is such a strong woman. Like,
she's a badass.
She's so sick, and then Keith Lee, like, he definitely could mess you up, but you look at him, you're like, oh,
he's just a teddy bear.
I want to hug him. So seeing these two personality types together is definitely like, this is great.
Yeah.
It could have something to do also with the fact that we've all been quarantined for 3 months and our emotions are running really high.
And then Shelby's sitting over here like, oh my God, they're so perfect. And I'm like, what's wrong with me?
I dropped something off the table. I'm a Sagittarius and I'm crying. Throwback to the last podcast.
Oh man. Oh. But yeah, so they've been making fun of each other essentially, and so Johnny
with their table spots.
Johnny and Candace have been doing these dinner with the Garganos, and so Johnny comes out of the house through the actual door.
Yes,
which was the first time that anybody had gone through the door.
Yes,
but he's wearing this I thought it was like a stormtrooper type outfit.
You were like, what is that?
So
is that a stormtrooper thing?
He usually, his ring gear is very much based on comic books.
Yes.
And so he's come out to the ring as like Captain Marvel one time, like his ring attire, not like completely cosplaying Captain Marvel, but like his ring attire is very inspired by, right?
I'd be, yeah.
be very inspired by that. And this one, it looked like if the uniforms from Star Trek and a stormtrooper
and a little bit of Assassin's Creed
kind of mixed, had a baby all together, and it was interesting. So I wrote down stormtrooper.
Yeah, and it's funny because you wrote that down for Johnny. I actually wrote down about Keith Lee's outfit when he came out, and I was so happy to see this.
So Keith Lee always has some sort of message on on the back of his jacket and on the back of his trunks as well. And he had Black Lives Matter on both his jacket and his trunks, and outlined in pink like he normally does, which I thought was really, really cool.
Was awesome.
So you saw that throughout the entire match, which I think is like what he likes to do.
It was a really nice way to, have your voice heard on a platform, and be seen, and a nice, I don't know, it was really nice to see it.
Yeah, definitely. And so Johnny comes out, and he has a key. Oh. And this is a throwback to the TV show.
Yes.
The stuff that's been going on the TV show. Basically the last match that they had a mixed match tag with Johnny and Candace and Keith and Mia. And Johnny was not dressed for it. And he had his street clothes on, and he pulled his car keys out and basically gouged Keith Lee's eye.
Raked his eye.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And so basically he has a key, and he puts it down his trunks.
Yeah, not like just like a drop and be done with it. Like,
he literally pulls his trunks out, looks down at his junk, and is just like drops it down in there.
Now where shall I put this?
There had to have been a pocket. I hope to God there was a pocket that he didn't wrestle with a loose key.
Wait, but what if the cup was in there?
Well, I mean, they have to wear cups, right?
No, but I mean but the cup.
Oh, the cup.
The cup.
Gross.
I know, sorry. Anywho,
so
moving on from that.
So he puts it down the trunks and then walks out, and then, they both come out and the match starts. And I think the reason why we were so divided on this was, for me, they're just, again, with the height and size difference, but I think what Gargano and Lee lacked where Priest and Balor didn't was the pacing. And I went back and watched it, and it seems so slow. Yeah. And it picked up, but Keith Lee is so big, and he can do things that big men are not supposed to be able to do. He's 380 pounds, I think, or something.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
And he can fly. He can literally flip and jump off the top rope.
But not only that, but just straight from the ground. He can just do a flip from the ring, on the floor.
And which it's impressive. And so I thought going into this, Johnny being a cruiserweight type wrestler, I don't think he's completely cruiserweight, but his style is very much like that,
and his build is too.
I think he's 190, I think, or something.
Maybe
and so
wet.
maybe, but putting them up against each other, I'm like, oh, okay, they're very similar in styles, and I thought that he can match up with Johnny, but he just didn't for me.
Yeah.
And it was
interesting.
It just seemed like Johnny was going regular speed and Keith Lee was going underwater. It seemed like to me. Like he was reciprocating everything, but he was just going at like half the speed. And it was still entertaining, but to me, he didn't keep up with them as much as I thought he was going to.
Yeah.
But you saw it a little bit different.
Well, yeah, but now looking at my notes, like I actually realized I have the most amount of notes written down because of like just through this match, because I think maybe because I was watching it through,
the crowd was getting very creative with their chants. So they have crowds now, but it is, it's basically everyone who's not wrestling in the takeover.
On the roster.
Yeah, everyone that's not wrestling is in the audience. Kind of like that. That's how AEW is doing it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
and there've been a few like you can see like family members maybe like in there as well.
There are some like
some
children that have come in, but yeah. So they were getting very creative with the chants, and that's probably why you wrote down so much, because they were.
I'm a sucker for quotes and things like that. That's my thing.
Yeah, and they just like were coming up with their own melodies to things.
Yeah, because it's not. Yeah, because most of the time when you like hear somebody coming up with something, it's like, like he sucks, whoop whoop, like or something like it goes along with what their like music is or whatever. No, this crowd's like, all right, y'all, I'm gonna compose this. I'm gonna compose a song. Like no rhyme or reason, just this beautiful tune came out, and I'm like,
Johnny sucks.
Like
Johnny sucks.
Like it was just this like, where did this come from? It was like Johnny sucks.
It was very
Johnny sucks.
It was very
like,
clear that they were told that they needed to have some sort of chant going on.
Like,
so they were like, all right, I'm just gonna pull this out of my ass and like see what happens. And you could tell, like, because the plexiglass, I feel like they can't really hear each other.
No, that's another thing that we could.
There's like one side of the ring is chanting and the other side is silent, and it's just like they were trying really hard.
Or they start chanting and then like they start chanting the same thing, but one group is like ba 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 ba, and the other's like ba 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 ba.
The rhythm's all off.
It's like, ooh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so I think that maybe that's why you had so many notes.
Yeah, well, but not only that, but just like I actually had a lot of notes about like the actual match itself and like detail things that I could see. So like for example, like Keith Lee has the ability to catch people and make it just look flawless. Probably because he's a 380-pound man and everyone else is like lifting feathers to him.
There's a lot of mass there.
Yeah.
For you to be able to be thrown at him and he can catch you.
Yeah. And there was one bit where in the match he catches Johnny, and I swear, like, we both looked at it and we were like, Johnny Gargano almost died, and Keith Lee just saved this man's life on national television.
Like, you kind of saw his soul leaving his body
and then he
bit.
went nope, and brought it back.
Yep, just pulled it right back in there and kept going.
Like, I wrote that one down being like, Keith Lee saving Johnny Gargano's life.
Yeah.
Because he jumped over. So Keith Lee and Johnny were at this moment, and I can't remember, was he thrown or was he just like hit and then he just fell, like Johnny like fell. This is the part where Keith Lee jumped. Like he like the stepping was off, or the space between them was off.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
And so he literally sees like Johnny like that math meme where the math is going around the lady's face and all that.
Yeah.
Like he sees like the spacing between them is like not where it's supposed to be, and Keith Lee just literally like magically jumps over Johnny Gargano and saved his life.
Yeah.
And so stuff like that, I'm like, see, like being able to like watch somebody do the math, like who knows the work, who knows the math, who knows the moves and the spacing, like where it's all supposed to be, and in a like really brief moment be able to make that decision. Like I like that. I like being able to see those moments. Like, I mean, or throw back to the Undertaker Triple H match. Like having that moment of like where anything that could possibly go wrong, like the worst possible thing happened, and having to go from there. Like watching that moment, like is really cool to me. I like seeing somebody who knows their stuff really nail it. And I think Keith Lee does that. I think he's really good at that. And Johnny is fast. He's, good paced. I mean, I definitely see that sometimes it can be hard because both of their paces are for themselves, and it works for each of them separately. So sometimes combining it can be hard.
Well, and Johnny can't lift him.
No, and
I feel like that.
We don't want a Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant moment.
Well, and it's just, he might be able to lift 380 pounds of weight, but not 380 pounds of man.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
like,
that's
I feel
different.
like there's a difference, and especially width and, you know, all that stuff. But there was one moment, though, that bumped the rating up a little bit for me.
Yeah.
And it was Keith Lee just takes Johnny and throws him through the plexiglass.
Oh, yeah!
So,
right near the end there.
So they have around the ring where the audience would be, they have plexiglass set up. And I guess it's like a barrier between the wrestlers and the crowd. It's not normally there, but
hockey matches.
It gave a lot of hockey feels because they're, you know, like banging on it, trying to make noise and stuff. And he throws him, which I felt like at some point in time they were going to do that.
Oh yeah,
they had to happen because a while ago, it feels like ages ago, but when there were crowds there, Adam Cole
Baby
also had his soul leave his body, thanks to Keith Lee, because he was walking down the ramp and was like yelling at somebody in the ring, and Keith Lee just comes out of nowhere and just hoist him into the crowd, onto actual crowd members, like they weren't plants.
No, it was because normally, like, if something like that happens, it's like, you know, the first 2-3 people that are right there on the edge, like,
who catch them.
It's right there. This was like 6 people back chucked. Like, he threw him Adam Cole into the audience, and it was past the first 3 rows. Yeah, it was.
So there was actual people.
Like, it was like a rag doll, like chucking a rag doll. Like, he just flew.
It was a very popular meme for about a month.
It was great.
Like, it was great. And so he did the same thing to Johnny, but he went through the plexiglass, and of course, you know, everybody scatters and everything. And so that was cool, and that bumped it up a little bit for me, and they played around with that a bit.
Yes.
But then I felt like this next part wasn't really necessary. So, like, Candace and Mia.
Yeah.
So when they went out in their match, they were fighting.
Yes.
And I think it was you that made the comment of like, oh, they're probably going to come back in and they're going to be
still fighting.
Which that would have been great if they did that, but they didn't. So like they came out and they were changed into their street clothes. Like, Mia had her sweatpants and her Timbs on.
Yeah, she was like you were like, is that her Timbs?
Like, I had those same pair of Timbs. Yeah. Like, they were like the original, like, tan ones.
Yeah,
like, and it was just weird. And Candace comes out and is like trying to distract Keith.
Yeah.
And then Mia, she turns around and Mia's there and she was like, oh no. And they start fighting.
Yeah.
And they fought literally from outside the ring into the ring, across and onto the other side, and then just disappeared.
Whoosh,
and
gone.
That was enough time, I guess, to distract Keith Lee so Johnny could take the key out of his junk. I don't know.
Key out of his junk.
Like, I swear.
Yeah.
I hope there was a pocket.
Yeah.
Like, because he went down in there to pick it out.
Yeah.
And to me, it just didn't seem necessary. Like, he could have done that in a different way. Didn't need to include Candace and Mia coming out for no real reason.
Yeah.
Except, and it just seemed clear that they were supposed to be the distraction.
Yeah, I agree. However, there was one spot that I did really like in that match. And so to modernize it up a little bit, so they have the house background and all that. And so Johnny came out of the house.
Oh, yes. And I'm glad you brought this up.
Yes, because I loved this. And so most people nowadays, well, if you're richer than I and have a house, have nests or have, you know, video footage, like surveillance for your house, and most of the time it's right where the doorbell is. And so they added that element in with the with this match. And so Johnny decides, you know what, no, I'm done. I'm leaving this match.
I'm gonna go back in the house.
I'm going back home. And screw you guys, I'm going home.
Because this is my house.
And so he literally, it suddenly changes for the camera, like, angle from normal people like holding the camera to the doorbell camera, which was a really great added feature. I loved it.
It actually gave like a horror movie type vibe, because you had like Johnny who was like trying to get the door
like
open,
unlocking the key,
and then you
just see Keith Lee
coming towards you very slowly and lumberingly.
Yeah.
Is that a word, lumberingly?
Yeah.
Okay,
sure. It is now.
It is now.
Lumbering.
Yeah, and I did enjoy that. That was a fun spot.
Yeah, that was a really good spot.
Takes him and like hits him against the door.
Yeah.
And you just see him hitting the camera, and that was cool.
That was a good spot.
I did enjoy that.
Yeah, I didn't want to forget that one, because that one was really fun.
No, I'm glad.
And then I did write a song. Do you remember the song I wrote?
I don't. Sorry.
I wrote this down. Through the window, through the wall, till the key comes out. I can't even. No,
you can't do it.
I can't do it.
I told you wouldn't be able to do it. You wrote it down, and you're like, I'm going to say this on the podcast.
Y'all know where it is. Y'all know what it is.
You know what it is.
You can fill in the blank.
Gina's too wholesome for that. She can't do it. She can't do it.
Except calling people ignorant sluts.
Hey,
okay.
That's still innocent.
Oh man,
that's the line.
Yes, that's an insult. Take it.
But yeah, so Johnny pulls out the key, rakes the other eye.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh my God, Keith Lee is blind. And I'm like, no, he can see.
When his eyes were wide open the whole match.
Right,
so.
it's fine. He could see out of both eyes the entire match, but it's fine.
It's fine.
So basically he, super kicks him, gets the pin, kicks out.
Yep.
Super kick, pins, kicks out. Does this a few times. And that did bring up the drama, I think, a bit.
Yeah, that one was nice.
Cool, because no one really kicks out of his super kicks.
Yeah, no.
Because they're so good.
Yeah.
Like, the naps that this man
can
I
wrote that too.
Like, and I guess it also plays into effect of the fact that the arena is not full.
Yeah.
So you can hear a lot more stuff. And I think that helps a little bit.
Yeah.
But like, so he kicks out, and then Keith Lee eventually hits his finisher and goes over.
Yes.
So I watched it again because I told you I would go back and watch it. I'm still giving it a 3.5.
Okay.
Because it was a good story,
but
it was just slow, and it had some stuff in it that I was just like,
okay,
it wasn't necessary.
Yeah. Because I wrote 4.
Right.
And I did.
We went back and forth, but do you feel differently about that, or?
I feel like I did not get the chance to go back and rewatch it like I had wanted to, because I wrote this one, and then I wrote the Cross and Ciampa match I wanted to watch again, and I didn't get to. So overall, I think, 1 vote, 2 vote, 1 out of 2. I will let you make the decision.
Will you yield to my 3.5?
I shall yield to your 3.5. I will.
Awesome.
3.8 for the nest.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Okay, just for the little camera view. But no, 3.5. Yeah, I would say that's fair.
Well, moving on to the next one, we have Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream.
Yes.
And this is for the NXT Championship.
Yes.
But it's not a normal match.
No, it is not.
It is a backlot brawl, which apparently has never happened in NXT before, which I was kind of shocked.
And set up by our lovely William Regal.
Yes, our lovely friend of the show.
Yes, our sponsor and our advocate. No.
Oh my God, if only. If only he would listen to this show.
If you're listening, we're accepting sponsors.
As always. And this one was so interesting because it had a very, like, they've done street fights before.
Yeah, this was.
But it had, God, I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was like, Never Back Down. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
Yes. So Never Back Down was this like Fight Club type
David
movie.
Just leaned
I've always
in.
referred to Never Back Down as the best 80s movie ever made in 2008.
Thank you. Yes.
Really?
When this movie came out, I loved it so much. And
it's a great movie.
Terribly great movie, yes. It's one of those movies that's like a guilty pleasure type movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
okay.
you're not watching it for the acting.
Right.
You're not
No.
watching it for anything except for the fights.
So,
like,
movie night sometime?
yes,
Whenever we can? Sure.
Absolutely.
Cool beans.
So basically, it's set up like a Fight Club type situation, and they had a ring. It looked like a movie studio
It
to
did.
me.
Yeah, I even wrote, what set is this?
It looked like we were in the middle of downtown Bourbon Street.
Yeah, it
New
looked like
Orleans.
Louisiana. Like, it straight looked like there's supposed to be some Spanish moss hanging from these rafters or something.
Yeah. So they set it up, and they have cars that are set up around the ring, and the only lights are coming from the headlights.
It was really cool.
So it took you a minute to kind of get used to that lighting because sometimes the camera angles would.
And they fixed it quick.
They did. The camera angles would kind of go to where like the car light was shining right in your face. So this match was pretty interesting. I feel like it kind of gave me the Tommaso and Johnny final beat kind of thing. And this was a pre-recorded match.
It was. You can tell.
I'm just kind of over them.
Yeah, it was fun to see them when we could, but now that we have the chance to like have people there and do it, like do it.
Yeah, and I mean, you could tell that whoever directed this was very much trying to make a name for themselves, I think.
Yeah.
So if you have a chance, David, go back and watch it. I know that's like kind of your thing. You talked about the Undertaker AJ Styles match and how you felt about that.
Yeah, I kind of want to see if I can find this. Who was in this match?
So it was Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream. It was Backlot Brawl. So the reason why I say that is because the camera angles were very dramatic, and it was very clear that like some of them were one take shots.
Yeah.
So like someone would get thrown out of the ring toward the camera, and then they would follow them, back into the ring. And it looked like it was a movie that they were trying to make it a movie. And
Marine.
I just, it looked like we're on the set of Marine 5.
Yeah.
But I mean, basically there's a lot of stuff that goes in, like Adam Cole rolls up in a huge truck with like huge wheels and flags, and Velveteen Dream comes up in a Lambo. Like it was cool, and Velveteen did have some Negan vibes going on from Walking Dead.
He had the red
He came out with the jacket and the baseball bat wrapped around, and
not an actual barbed wire, but still wrapped around.
He didn't really use it.
No,
but
he even said, Adam Cole was like, "Fight me like a man, fight me like a man.
I'm not getting in this ring until you throw it out."
And he's like, "Oh, anything for you, baby." Like he just like tosses
and
it,
Gina's
and that
like,
was it. I do like him. He's lovely.
Yeah,
I enjoy him.
So basically, like the whole point of this match is like anything goes.
Yeah.
And there's no count outs.
Yeah.
You can use any weapon that you find. But
was that the same ref for
Drake?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's our buddy Drake.
Yeah, our buddy Drake.
He got his moment.
He did.
So basically anything goes, but you have to pin them or submit them in the ring.
Yes.
So I feel like a bunch of shit happens.
So much happens.
And it's just like, I mean,
nasty
if you want to, go, I would suggest going and watching it. It is a good match.
It's very hard. Like we couldn't really take notes because of so much what was going on.
Well, it kind of had a feel of, I mean, I haven't seen this match, but hearing people talk about the AEW match, the final one from the last pay-per-view where like so much shit was happening.
Yes.
It kind of felt like that a little bit, and kind of like Money in the Bank, how like there's so much stuff going on.
It's impossible to review.
Exactly, yeah. And so it kind of had that feel like there was one point where some random lady pulled up in an Uber and was like, did anybody call an Uber?
And then they like fought through the Uber, and she was like, man, and then she drove off, and that was weird.
There was a lot of stuff. Adam Cole goes through a windshield.
Oh, that car fall was real though.
It was.
Oh, he did bust on that one. That was
well, and so that happened, and the Undisputed Era comes in,
and they're like,
and he's like, from the broken windshield, Adam Cole was like, you know what to do.
Yeah,
you know what to do.
And so they start coming in real close to Velveteen Dream, and then
first they put the chairs.
Oh, you're right. So they started throwing all the chairs,
giving us very much ECW vibes.
Yes,
where they're just throwing like 20-some
from the
chairs
back of this pickup truck.
Right. So apparently this is a plan that they had planned beforehand,
because they're going to use every single one of those chairs.
Right. So then one chair flies out of the ring, and then yes. I thought Gina was gonna like pee her pants.
Oh no, but that's because I called it before. I don't get to call things before, so I felt like I was like really special.
You were right about this one. You were,
and I wrote that one down too.
So one of the chairs goes nearly underneath the ring. And Roderick Strong's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get this one. I'm gonna get it. And then he like goes to reach for it, and then it mysteriously goes underneath the ring. And he's like, what? What happened? And then all of a sudden, Dexter Loomis comes creepily crawling,
pulling from his forearms,
pulling
out his whole body weight.
And I was not into this guy until this moment.
I loved this dude.
So basically, he just comes out and just stares at you and doesn't speak. He hasn't spoken at all since he debuted. And so he crawls out, and he's been having a feud with the Undisputed Era anyway.
Yes.
So he crawls out, takes both of them, throws them in the back of an Impala, and just deuces.
Drives off.
Like, just, and that was it.
That's it.
And so I think that was the highlight, and I think that's why it bumped up a little bit in the ratings for me when that happened, because I was kind of tempted to rate this one a little bit lower too, just because we had seen it before. And
I think because I was losing my shit and you were laughing really hard at me.
It was a good moment.
When he came out, I was like, Dexter Loomis, you creepy son of a bitch! Like,
it was
screaming
it was great. So basically, Velveteen Dream gets the Panama Sunrise onto the 20-some chairs.
Yeah, he finally got it.
And Adam Cole goes over.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I'm watching, this is actually, I pulled up a second version of it on YouTube because I wasn't sure. Was the match itself, like the editing, as choppy as it is in
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I couldn't, like, sometimes YouTubers, to keep from getting hit with copyright infringements, will make choppy edits.
Yeah.
So I pulled up a second version of this to see if this is some terrible editing.
Yeah, I that's why I talked to you about it, because like it
shouldn't be this bad, because he has there were clearly at least 5 cameramen. You can see them in the drone shot.
Very, very visibly.
So he's got at least 5 cameramen and a drone.
And a drone.
Yeah.
And a dudes with lights on poles. Like at one point, you see a guy holding a light on a pole run across the background, and I'm like,
you do, yeah.
Block this. There he is. Block this shit better.
For those of you who are at home, David is actually watching this match in real time while we're talking about this, and yes, it is that choppy in real life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's something special.
I did have an issue a little bit with that, and so overall, I know in the moment I gave it a 4.5.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if we can change this. I don't think it's a 4.5. I think it's a 4.
Yeah, I was going to say 4.
Yeah.
So I give this one a 4 because again, solid, but we've seen it already.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like the Tommaso Johnny match was better.
Yeah.
And they didn't have all of the bells and whistles.
That match was wow.
Yeah.
But the next one.
Speaking of Tommaso.
Hey.
The next one was Tommaso Ciampa versus Karrion Kross.
And people were talking about Karrion Kross when he came in. Like, Twitter lost their minds when he got signed on.
In a good way or a bad way? Okay.
They were ecstatic. Like, they loved this guy. And apparently Scarlett has been with him the whole time, and they're like, well, massive fans. Like, and we had to grow to like Scarlett.
She came out so strong.
She did.
And
however, she's a beautiful woman.
She is, and her ring attire was just crazy. Like, it was this like see-through bodysuit, kind of giving me like Britney Spears.
Yes. Yes.
Except, David, did you perk up from your Candy Crush when we talked about that?
You should look that up, my friend. There you go.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was giving me very much Britney Spears, Oops, I Did It Again vibes. And I feel like she came out really strong in the gate and then kind of backed off a little bit.
And I think that helped.
And it did.
Yeah.
But I did not like this match.
You did not.
I was not happy with it. I just felt like... So, Tommaso, I've been a fan of for a bit. It took me a while to warm up to Tommaso, but with the feud with him and Johnny was just so perfect. It was textbook feud. Like, it was so good that he won me over on that. And I felt like he didn't get what he deserved in this match.
It was just, like... I understand, like, because Kross, for those of you who are listening, Kross is a monster. Like, he's a big dude. He's, you know, he's got that mean face, his eyebrows. But the thing is, it's like
huge.
No,
you know what I mean?
No.
Like, he's not like a Keith Lee specimen. Like, he's a big guy, but he's he's not like
no, he's not
super
like
imposing.
Braun Strowman. He's not
Yes.
like, you know, big cast. He's not like, you
Yeah,
know, he's not
exactly.
these kind of guys. But like, I would be really interested to see him with Finn, or to see someone like smaller, like really smaller. Like
Yeah.
Ciampa's small and he's, you know, really agile and fast. But for like, I don't know, it was like they had to sit there and go, okay, so who's someone who's like, you know, who could possibly still make it out of being beaten up by this guy.
Yeah.
And they had to just try to find
it seemed like
someone.
a more sophisticated squash match.
Yeah, and
to
it
me.
was, but it still was
a squash.
Yeah.
Because he basically, the match didn't, I didn't go back and like time it or anything, but it wasn't that long.
No.
And I at one point I was watching the match and I turned to you and I'm like, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because he was just going at him.
Yeah.
And it was just relentless, and Tommaso got zero offense.
No, nothing.
The entire time. I mean, he got like a little bit
like
here and
4
there.
punches maybe to the face. That literally maybe had him step back half a step.
Yeah, but neither one of them hit their finishers.
No.
He literally does one move on him about like toward the end, and then puts a submission hold on him, and then he immediately passes out.
Yeah.
And then the match is over.
Yeah.
Like it maybe lasted like 3 minutes.
It was odd. It was a very
It was an odd
match.
choice, and I felt like with it being the semi-main,
Yeah, like, you know,
they in my opinion, they should have switched Johnny and Keith and this match.
Yeah.
And
have it
had
earlier
Johnny
on.
and Keith be the semi-main.
Yeah.
And then have this one on the lower card.
Yeah, I can absolutely see that working.
I think I would have rated it a little bit higher if it was.
Yeah.
Because going off of that women's match in the beginning, I could have understood with it being such a halt in the momentum.
Yeah.
But it just didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Like at all. And I felt like, Cross is new.
Yeah.
He needs to go over. We need to put someone with him that's going to make him look good.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Ciampa is also a high card guy right
Exactly.
now. But
it
felt dirty. It felt like they did him kind of dirty.
was lackluster.
Yeah, and with all this buildup that they've had with it, and for it to be such a lackluster match, it was kind of like disappointing to me.
There is, you know what? No, I take back my comment about Finn. I know exactly who I want him to go against.
Who?
I want him to go against Dexter Lumis.
Yeah, see, that would make more sense because it's crazy versus crazy.
Yeah, but because he was with Velveteen Dream and helping out. Maybe
Maybe.
we'll see that in the future.
Down the road, probably. They're both new, so that could happen.
That would be really cool.
So I think overall we both agreed 2.5 on this one.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's probably the lowest we've ever done on this show.
I don't think we've hit a 2.
I just didn't like it.
No.
And I went back and I got about halfway through the second time and I was like, I can't.
It's just, well, the thing is, it's like, it's not even that I didn't like it. It's just like, I just felt mad. Like halfway through the match, I looked at Shelby, which was like a minute and a half. I looked and I was like, I've written no notes.
Yeah.
Like we wrote nothing down. I wrote squash, go back, watch again. But I didn't do that. So
Yeah. So
it just I was hoping for more. I was hoping for like a real like kind of battle, but
yeah.
maybe we'll see something in the future.
Yeah, I hope so, because I don't think Cross is a lost cause. I think he's a good worker. But
And that's the thing. He did great moves. Like he didn't botch anything. He didn't mess it up.
Right.
But it just like there was no storytelling element to it. Like he had attacked Ciampa in like the beginning, but like that was really it. Like it wasn't like it didn't have a build. So that's probably why he was having, you know, it wasn't just like a gripping match.
Sure. Well, I mean, I feel like the main event made up for it.
Oh my
gosh.
Because
we have
oh my gosh.
our main event.
Oh my gosh.
We had
oh my gosh.
Gina, if you cannot tell, is so happy.
Can you hear my chair squeaking?
With the outcome of this match.
I just guessed. I just guessed that person.
She
and
did.
I was like, yeah, why not?
So it's Rhea Ripley versus Io Shirai versus Charlotte Flair for the NXT Women's Championship.
Yeah.
So again, a women's title match being the main event of a takeover, which apparently hadn't happened since Sasha and Bailey in 2015.
Really? Whoa.
Yes.
I missed that.
They said that on commentary.
Oh, that's right. That's because you were like, wait, what? And you had to pause it?
I did, because I honestly thought that it was, you know, they had done it since then,
That's
but apparently
crazy.
not. 2015 was the last time that a women's match was the main event for a takeover. Wow. Yeah. So the other rosters beat them on that.
Wow.
But
get woke, NXT.
Exactly. So I love Rhea.
Yes, you do.
Apparently there's a flag that has her logo on it, and I want it so bad.
Yeah, I'll get you that. Don't worry.
Yes. And both her and Charlotte, I feel like their WrestleMania was great.
Yeah.
But then it just kind of dropped off.
It did.
And I don't know if this was because of COVID or what, but Rhea was just gone.
Yeah.
After that for almost 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We didn't see her on TV at all.
I mean, I wonder if she went to family or...
I don't know. I mean, she might have, but I mean, I follow her on Instagram and she was still hanging out at home. But like, I don't know. She usually, with title matches, especially if it changes hands, there's usually immediately a rematch of some sort.
Yeah.
And it has taken us almost a month to get this rematch. Yeah. To the point where they even had a, number one contender ladder match to determine the next person who was going to challenge Charlotte, which was Io. Oh, man. Io won that ladder match.
It was a great match.
I think we talked about that on the previous episode we did.
Yes, we did.
Really good match. But, I mean, this match, all three of them are great. Charlotte's solid. She's been a standout for me from the beginning. I mean, and Io is, not a new person. No. She's traveled all over the place and, kicked Japan's ass a bunch of times.
Didn't they say she was 20 years or something? Or am I crazy?
Rhea Ripley's 23.
Okay.
I don't know how old Charlotte's in her 30s, I think, or something. I don't know how old Io is. Yeah. But, all these women
very
are the
talented.
Top of the women's division, so obviously that's why they're the main. But there was one part where, if y'all don't know this, Charlotte Flair does not... she has a lot of things that are not real on her body.
Some added things.
Two of them are...
The hell you said.
I know that they look so natural, right? They don't. But anyway.
They don't even move.
So there was one point where I was concerned for them.
She was scared.
I thought she had popped one of them.
You did.
I really did. Because Io... she doesn't weigh that much, so I don't know if it would have happened. And I went back and watched it, and she did. It was her.
Yeah, I was
stomach.
trying to tell you that it was the stomach, but you were insistent that she just stomped her boob.
I was convinced because I saw them move, and one went this way and one went the other way, and I was convinced that because she's popped one before.
She has.
Which this just goes back to I've said this before. If you are a wrestler and you get plastic surgery to your face or your boobs or anything, it's irresponsible because you get hit there. Yeah. And something's gonna pop, something's gonna hit, and it's not gonna be good for you. And that's what happened to her.
I just got so many chills down my spine.
Oh dude, there's footage of it. It was on a Raw. It's out there.
Nope, I'm good.
So it literally
match.
goes,
I won't watch it.
It just deflates. Yeah. So I thought that happened again. It did not.
Nope, it did not.
They're both fine.
We are A-okay.
But there were a lot of...
Double D okay.
Oh, they're bigger than Double D. Are you
Double G.
joking me? You gotta be joking me. So, I think there were a lot of high points. Again, we can sit here and go through all of them, but I feel like,
it did build.
It did, and it had... This match had what you thought it was going to have.
Exactly.
With all three of these women. Oh, God, David, what?
No.
There's no way in hell this can possibly be correct. As of February 8th, 2020, this can't be correct.
What did you do?
Oh, I Googled it. It says 34B.
That is a lie!
David. Who is that, Wikipedia?
I don't know what this is.
I'm looking at the picture, and she looks like she's 10.
Did she go and edit that shit? Because that's there's no way.
No.
There's no way.
I'm just saying.
Also, she's my age.
Oh, okay.
She's born in 86. Yeah, that still can't possibly be right.
Also, what site are you on that it tells you how big her boobs are?
Celebs Update?
Oh, okay. Well, that needs to be updated because there's no way that she's a B.
Yeah, that's a lie.
There's no way.
Her natural self, maybe.
Probably.
But anywho.
Okay. Yeah, it had to have been a mistake, like a typo, because it says 34D.
There we go.
Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense.
There we go.
But thank you for that riveting journalism.
Look, I can't contribute much to this podcast.
So you'll contribute to the boobs.
I get it. That's cool. So basically, a lot goes on.
Yep.
It sets up to where all three of them are outside of the ring, and there's no count. Well, are there countouts?
No,
I didn't think so.
I don't think.
Not in triple threat. Triple threat rules. There's no countouts.
No, they weren't doing that with
dogs. Let us know if we're wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
So they get to where the house is, like where the prop house is, and Io gets thrown through the window, which I liked, but part of me wished that it was breakaway glass just a little bit, because it was just the pain of it, and she just kind of like she threw her and she flopped, like she just kind of dropped.
They probably didn't, because behind that was the LED lights and all that, so they probably didn't want anything.
Screen.
Yeah, they probably didn't want anything like else other than a body hitting the screen.
I know, but it was just kind of lackluster. She just kind of threw her and she just dropped in between the window and the pane. And
I mean, nitpicky things. That's not bad though. Like,
it's not, but I wanted her to go through a glass.
The true violent tendencies of Shelby Ray come out.
I mean, I love to watch wrestling. I have a little bit of violent tendencies in me.
Well, it's like half the reason some people watch NASCAR. Occasionally, I'll be watching a wrestling match, whether it's WWE or AEW, and I'll be like, "Yeah, I want to see a man die tonight."
Exactly. There's that little bit of part of you that's like, "Oh man, I want to see her go through a huge window or something."
I want to see one of her boobs pop.
That's you, David.
No, not pop out, just pop.
Oh, okay, got it. Which
good clarification.
Yes. Yeah. So she throws her through the window.
Yep.
Rhea picks up a potted plant and throws it at Charlotte.
And for real, like it was
real.
Like potting soil went everywhere.
What was funny was it looked like they were like she maybe was trying to not hit her with the actual pot, but just the plant, because Charlotte definitely dodged it.
Oh yeah,
like she definitely moved out of the way and just got hit by the plant.
Just in time.
And so that makes them, fight and everything, and that sets up time.
Yeah, where'd she go?
So I didn't see this at first.
No, I didn't. I was flipping out.
I was like,
yes.
Why are you freaking out about this?
And I was like, look up!
They're just showing the house. Oh.
And then you see the spot go boink.
And it literally does like a zoom spot onto Io, and Io is standing on top of the house. Now, she has done shit like this in the past.
Yes, she has.
She did this at War Games.
And she nails it.
And she climbed up to the top of the cage and did a moonsault.
It was beautiful.
I think it was Candace and Bianca, I think, at the time. Don't be sad. She's still on TV.
I know. I just miss her. I love her.
So yeah, she's been known, and they call her the genius of the sky.
Yeah.
And so basically, she was kind of rough for me in the beginning of this match.
She had to get herself back in the game a little bit.
But I think once she started doing high flying shit.
And yeah, as soon as she was back in the air, she's like, I got this.
Exactly. So she jumps off of the top of the house on top of them.
It was beautiful.
It was great. It was a really good spot, really fun. So basically, it all leads up to the last bit of the match, which I felt like was some of the most like the smoothest sequence I think out of the entire pay-per-view.
Yes.
So basically, Charlotte gets Rhea into the figure 4, bridging into the figure 8.
Yep.
And then Io does a moonsault on top of Rhea. Like on her face. Like I went back and watched it.
It's just straight face.
She hits her knee to the face.
Yeah. Oh.
And I don't know if she got knocked out for a second or what, because I kind of saw, the look.
Like the look of, oh my God.
Right, because she wasn't looking.
Oh.
She wasn't looking at Io when she did the moonsault.
Yeah.
So she couldn't, I don't feel like she prepped.
Yeah.
Had enough time to prep or gave herself enough time.
She wasn't prepared for it. And
right. And I mean, if you go back and watch it, she really does hit her in the face with her knee. So she does a moonsault, lands straight on her face, and Charlotte is still tangled up in the figure 4.
Yes.
And is trying to get out. And get stuck. And then Io is on top, shoulders down, on Io or on Rhea, ref counts 1, 2, 3,
1, 2, 3.
And we have a new NXT Women's Champion.
I flipped my shit.
Gina literally gets up off the couch and runs around my apartment. Like,
I literally just not throw away, but I mean, I was like, yeah, like Charlotte's gonna keep it, like, you know, or if anyone gets it, Rhea's gonna get it.
We
like,
even said this. We were like, she's gonna keep it.
Yeah, and then it's just
she hasn't had it for long enough because when she does titles, she does
forever.
Takes forever to win them off of her.
And then Io and Ripley are just gonna have matches forever and just keep arguing and keep on the storyline. But no,
it was actually a really good ending sequence, and I thought it was really riveting because you hear the frustration in Charlotte. Like I went back and watched it, and she's struggling, and she yells out, "Shit!" Like, like realizes what's happening, and then tries to get out and can't get out because she's like she's hooked the figure 4 too good,
and she
can't get it out. So I thought it was an interesting way to win.
Yeah, it was great. I think that they really are trying to find ways to make it more interesting and like not just the normal pin, you know, whatever, like, or, you know, finding creative ways to make something really, really, really cool happen.
Yeah. And so I wrote down 4 Regals on this. Yeah. Mostly because of Io in the beginning.
I didn't write one down.
I still stand by that. I still think 4 was appropriate.
Yeah.
I mean, solid match. There were some spots that could have been better, but I feel like that was a solid 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that took my overall pay-per-view
definitely
rating to a 4.
Definitely.
So I mean, it was a solid takeover. There weren't hardly any commercials.
No. And when they were in the 90s announcer voice that, you know, America's Funniest Home Videos kind of style.
Yeah, and they did their own commercials, and it was such a nice, refreshing break from the rest of the WWE pay-per-views where
they're 5 hours long.
Well, yes, this was 2 hours and 20 minutes long.
That's ridiculous.
That was it.
Like, what a concept.
Right. And they had 6 matches.
Right.
They did 6 matches in 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Right.
Like, and they didn't have the commercials where they were previewing stuff that we already knew about because we have the network, you know, like we already know this stuff. So they didn't have that. It had the 90s feel to it.
It was fun.
It was less time. You were able to really watch the matches and not have to be so fatigued.
Yes.
Being like, oh my God, is this only the semi-main?
Like it's 10 o'clock at night. I have work tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think I gave it a 4.
Yes. I definitely agree with a 4.
So I wrote down this little note.
Yeah.
Because this doesn't have anything to do with the pay-per-view because this wasn't on the pay-per-view. But this was on, because Gina has not seen the latest episode of NXT.
No, I did not get to watch it, and I'm really upset about it. Normally I watch it with you.
You started work again. So
I did
no one blames you.
Yeah.
But a certain someone has returned to TV, and that is one Tyler Breeze. And
no!
Yes. And he is now he was a tag team with Fandango, and Fandango got hurt, and so Breeze has been not on TV. They're back as a tag team.
Hey!
And they're called, they were called this before, but they're called Breezango. And before they were dancers, because, you know, Fandango, his whole thing was this, I'm a salsa dancer, but they are now astronauts.
What? What?
They came out to a spacewalk, and they are dressed in space suits and had women dressed as rockets. And it was...
I'm trying not to spit on your mic. I'm so sorry.
It was amazing. And now they are now #1 contenders for the tag team titles.
What? Stop it.
Yes. So there was a triple threat match.
Oh, I'm crying.
Between UE, them, and another team I can't remember. But
so are they going to go up against
Imperium?
Imperium, my God.
They won. They won the match, and they're going up against Imperium.
That's hilarious.
So we can look forward to that.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
So I feel like now with scheduling, when the next takeover is going to be is so up in the air. Because originally it's supposed to be in August.
We'll see.
But honestly, I'm not holding my breath with all this. Like, I mean, WWE has seemed to not be really affected by all of this. I mean, they've been cranking out content throughout this entire thing. And, I mean, most of the time it's been without audience, and it's been, you know, very overly produced and, you know, all that stuff. But, I mean, they've still been cranking out content regardless. Yeah. And so I'm hoping that the next one that's supposed to be in Boston will happen. Yeah. It may happen and it may not be in Boston. Mm-hmm. It may be in Orlando again, like everything else has been. Yeah. But I am hoping that we'll be able to be back in August. That would be with nice. Something. Yeah. Because I'm very happy because this is our first time being able to review a full takeover. The last time we just did kind of a recap on the the matches that were supposed to happen at TakeOver Tampa. Yes.
And just guessing.
Right.
Just guessing.
Oh my God, we were so wrong. Oh man. We were so wrong on so many things. But but yeah, so hopefully David will have another episode for you in August.
We'll see.
So, but I mean, overall, I enjoyed the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
what do you think?
It was so nice. Just the pacing was great, just within the whole the matches, but also the actual time of the thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, just the matches and the meetups were great. Meetups. I don't know what word that is. Matches and the pairings. There we go. Look, I don't even know. It's but okay. I feel like there were some really amazing moments in this pay-per-view and this takeover, and it was a lot of fun.
It got me excited because I mean, sometimes we watch these pay-per-views and we have such mixed reviews. Yeah. And sometimes they're so long, and
half the time it was us watching it just for the sake of already knowing that the content wasn't going to be the best. Right. But just being with friends, but that's not the case with NXT.
Well, and I feel like that's with all of the takeovers that I have seen in the past, that is the formula. They have cracked the code on what is entertaining. I would enjoy watching takeovers with dogs.
I would love to.
Because I don't know if he actually watches them live. I know he watches them in general, I think, later on. But, he would love. That will just add another time that we can all get together and watch something. But
oh, darn.
I would revel in that at this point.
Yes.
Because, watching it with just two of us is fun.
It's fun, but
when we have our whole group and everything, it's
I'm kind of sick. I was gonna say,
are you sick of me?
And that was the end of This Is a Takeover.
We had a good run, friends, but cut. Gina's sick of me, so
it's fine.
We gotta wrap it up.
Yep.
well, David, I know we have other content coming out soon. What else we got?
Oh yeah, we're keeping the train going of producing new content on a nigh weekly basis.
You've been very busy.
We have, and it's actually been very nice.
Yeah.
So coming up next, this upcoming Sunday, WWE has Backlash, their next pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So we'll have that episode out probably within a couple of days of that pay-per-view airing. And then the week after that, we're going to be continuing our Quentin Tarantino coverage on Long Walk Talks by discussing the films From Dusk Till Dawn and Tarantino's segment of the anthology movie Four Rooms.
See, I have never really been a Tarantino fan. I love Inglourious Basterds. There's my one thing.
Words are hard, man.
I almost got to the end.
You did.
Inglourious Basterds and Django. I do enjoy listening to you guys talk about it because I enjoy you and Stan having the knowledge and then you quizzing Barnes on it and being Barnes, what happened in this movie?
I'm Barnes and being I've only seen Django, but that's also because one of my favorite directors is Wes Anderson, and I know how much you dislike that.
I can't stand Wes Anderson,
and I love him. So.
We're about to enter a new period, a new era for Long Walk Talks, where for the next couple of movies, Well, actually, From Dusk Till Dawn, Chris has actually seen it and knows what we're talking about. Then in July, we're going to watch Jackie Brown, which I know he hasn't seen. But then, like, once we get into the Kill Bills and Inglourious and Django, I know that he knows these films. So it'll be interesting hearing his perspective on those.
It will be nice.
Yeah.
Well, is that it?
If people want to reach out to you or follow you online, how can they do that?
Yeah, so I am pretty much exclusively on Instagram at this point.
Yeah.
Facebook, I feel like this isn't I'm not the only person that says this. Facebook has just become a lot. And so I'm kind of off of Facebook now. But if you would like to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at SlayAllRay.
Gina, what about you?
Yeah, I'm the same. Instagram pretty much is where I'm at, and my handle is at BroadwayBaby1218. I made it a long time ago, and I'm not changing it because I'm lazy.
Very nice. Well, if you want to subscribe to this podcast and follow us, since we're now up to 3 podcasts on one channel, I have streamlined the title, and we are now, I kept it simple, Long Walk Podcast.
Love it.
So if you want to follow us on Facebook, just search for Long Walk Podcast, and you can find information on all 3 of the shows. If you want to reach out to me about anything on the show, if you want to reach Dog since he is social media distancing, if you've got any questions or comments on any of the topics we discussed, there was something that came up earlier. What were we discussing that you were like, oh yeah, email David?
I jokingly was saying that about
her burps.
Yeah. If you would like to rate my burp that I had, please send David Hensley an email
if you would like you can email those ratings and any questions or comments to me, david.longwalk, that's one word, LONGWALK, @gmail.com. And if you want to follow me personally online, you can do that on Instagram at DBHensley.
All right, well, that looks like that'll do it for us.
Yeah.
So for Shelby Ray
and Gina Belmont,
you don't need to be called up to the main roster because you've just been taken over. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for listening. If you enjoy this show, please make sure to leave us a rating and a review on whatever platform you are listening on.